So, as I just want to ask you, like, how hard are times? Do we all need to just resort to clickbait? And I also want to make you a promise right here, right now.
All right, come on.
Because you are, I, the closest of friends. Okay, major hypothetical.
Yeah.
If you're ever working in a consultative role on a major television show, and I'm ever a professor of a unofficial university,
right?
I promise that I will never even say I don't really know what's going. What can I say? I don't know what to say. No, I can't say that. I'll never do that to you.
Okay.
On YouTube Live.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that.
I promise. I promise you.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll do.
Well, yeah.
I'll see a question about some controversy because it's being typed and I'm the moderator.
Yeah.
I'll look at it and I'll go, do you want to know what I just said in my head, though? What I just said in my head was, I'm not even going to respond to that because he's my friend.
I see.
And I'm not even going to say something like I'm not going to respond about it because he's my friend.
Got it.
I'll see it and I'll ignore it.
Yep.
In my head, I'll go, next question. Yeah, you're right. The ants are really cool. If you can see them behind my shoulder here. Whoa, looks like QuickBeam's getting into some trouble there. So what we're alluding to, all right, is there is this, and it could be true, it could be true.
Absolutely.
I say some of this, in jest, but it could also be totally true. There's some rumor out there that Tom Shippey has been either fired or left, whatever, is no longer involved with the Lord of the Rings Amazon show. Yeah. Now, this is troubling for people who were excited about this because he offered a bit of security in terms of like liberties being taken, right? So Tom Shippey's involved. Tom Shippey, if you don't know, he wrote The Author of the Century. He taught at I think he taught at Oxford. You have to double check me, but he taught at the same school Tolkien did. Yep. Knew the man himself.
Yep.
Is an authority. He is a huge authority on Tolkien. All right. So he is working in a some sort of role to assure that the Tolkien estate is happy with what's being done with the show, and the show isn't making major changes in a plot in the Second Age that has already been created by Tolkien.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting because it's best of both worlds. We get some creative minds thinking about how can we interpret the Silmarillion and put it on the screen, big screen, small screen, whatever, and also how can we make sure that creativity is being checked with what has already been created by Tolkien himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a little troubling that we're hearing fired, left, gone, no longer part of.
Yeah.
Is Tom Shippey still alive? I don't know. Like, where is he?
The tone. I think what it is like it's from, and again, this is really for those of us who are really following it, and really trying, like we want it to be good. I mean, right? I don't know.
Yes.
Like it is. I mean, like we want this to be really good. It excites us that Tom Shippey would be involved, and that's a good thing, I think. So when the tone is that it's like the word choice or whatever you want to call it is that like he's not with them.
That there was some animosity, right?
Yeah,
like it was a bad parting, and that's the only thing I've heard. When I think of fired, left, and from the two sources I've heard it from, I think, okay, wow, well that sounds pretty bad. That sounds like maybe things with the show. I think it's designed to make you think, well, what's really going on with that show? Yeah,
and I don't like that. See, I think there was are we gonna talk about like the recent tweet that was out there as well? Like we had there was a tweet that kind of seemed like we should be a little bit more careful about what we assume is going on between studios, directors, production consultants, and things like that. Yeah. I don't think we really know what's going on, and so unless you're actually going to do a tell-all or you're going to whatever, I mean, I don't know. Because there's no news, right? We don't really know anything.
There's no news, and that's part of why this is big news. Is because there is nothing right now. Yeah. It's a I don't know if I'd say it's a breadcrumb. It's like a lump of bread left on the ground. Where we're like, what's this? Okay,
what is
Let's
it?
sniff this up.
Yeah.
And so that's why. Let's just. I mean, I don't know if it's clickbait. It's clickbait. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah, I don't know why it's even like if that person I mean, I guess like, if he's fired, he's fired. That's news, and let's talk about what does that mean? Like,
and that could be true. That could be true. If
he was actually then okay, or if he, I think you had a couple different ideas as to like, well, maybe he was I think you've said this to me, finished with his role, and then we're moving on.
I've imagined like 4 different scenarios, 4 different major events that like could either be blown out of proportion or actually happening. And the first one is maybe Tom Shippey's role. So think about where they are. Season 1 has been written and created. They were in the process. Last we heard, they were in the process of finishing the writing for season 2. Now, over this break, they may have been able to do that. Who knows? I don't know what they've been doing. But if you're on a consultative basis to make sure that what is being created to be filmed is in check with the work of Tolkien that's already been made, your involvement doesn't have to last longer than script's done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Script's done. Okay, that all checks out. You can use any of that, so no matter how you film it or edit it, that's all fine.
Right.
That checks out with Tolkien.
Yeah.
That's scenario 1, right? Like his role for right now is done. He's not fired. He didn't leave, but he might not be in New Zealand. He might be back in Cambridge or Oxford or wherever. Yeah,
but before you go into your next point here, I want to mention that because I saw this recently in Wheel of Time news, and it actually does connect. So an author, Brandon Sanderson, is a consultant. He comes in, he reads the scripts. The showrunner is Rafe Judkins. He says, hey, I want you finish the series. You're a big deal, kind of like Tom Shippey. Come check this out. Tell me if you think it's authentic to the show. Cool. He shows up and he leaves and it's done and over and he's gone. I mean,
to a certain extent, isn't it kind of what George Lucas, the role he's taken on with it going to Disney with people like Filoni calling him in and say, George, what do you think should happen here? Like, or this idea, is it make sense? And yeah, sure, or whatever. Just keep this in mind. So it's a little different, I guess, because there's actually like it's in black and white. You know what I mean? To a certain extent, within the Silmarillion, like we can't obviously change that, but we can change that. So in my mind, I'm thinking, to a certain point in production, it's like, Tom, it's been great.
Yeah.
We'll see you in a year or 2, or we'll communicate on email or whatever.
Right.
So that's one I could see like potentially happening. I don't know. Maybe. Another scenario is that maybe there was some misunderstanding on what the role would be.
Sure.
Tom Shippey's a big dude, man. He's big time.
Yeah.
He's not a big dude. He's big time, all right?
Yes.
So he is someone that has a lot of weight, has a lot of pull, has a lot of force, a lot of knowledge. Like the dude, his like I pick up Author of a Century and I read a couple pages and I go, okay, I gotta meditate on that for maybe 3 or 4 days,
it's good.
Then get back into it. He is a brilliant mind.
Yep.
And his knowledge of Tolkien is more than I will ever even be able to scratch the surface of.
Yep.
But maybe he thought his role was going to be a little more. Yep. Maybe he thought, I'm going to go down there. I don't even know if he was in New Zealand, first of all, but maybe he thought it would last longer than just that, okay, here's the skeleton for what we're going to create. We're going to move on to filming. It's like maybe he thought they would be asking opinions all along. And one of the scenarios is maybe this upset him.
Yeah.
Maybe it upset him in a big way or a small way. Either way is fine. And then he communicated or vented his frustrations to Olsen. Maybe that really happened.
Yeah.
All right. So my role I misunderstood my role or wasn't communicated effectively. It could be on Amazon too. Maybe they didn't communicate it the right way. I'm now done for a while. I don't like it. I want to talk to a friend, which is we do that all the time. I'm going to vent to a friend.
Yep.
Maybe that happened as well.
Right. So my thing is I kind of the way, like when we're talking about this and we're thinking about what's going down, I really just want people who, if you're really watching the production and you're looking at how this is being made and you really care about the authenticity, the continuity, all that kind of stuff, which we do. That's really why we're happy that Tom Shippey's involved in to some capacity. So it's like we want to almost tamp the, like, I don't want people freaking out and running around saying all sorts of stuff when you just don't know. And simply because you heard one person or a couple people, I don't really even know the full extent of this, but like just because you heard a few people say this line that so-and-so is fired or whatever, that it seems the tone is bad. I don't really like it sounds bad, but I would say don't jump to conclusions. Like it's way more complex. There's way more involved. You're presenting 3 to 4, different scenarios as to what could have happened and what went down. So, and unless I just wouldn't go there. I just would not go there because I'm sure there's some reason for it,
right?
So we want people to stay calm.
There's no smoke without fire, right? But I'm not even seeing any smoke, man. I don't see any smoke. I haven't heard anything from Amazon.
No.
I haven't heard anything from Tom Shippey himself.
Nope.
It's 2 other third-party sources, which to me, I think, okay, which brings me to my next one. Maybe it was a contrived story.
Maybe
it was contrived by third-party sources, said, or maybe... dude, this is kind of a conspiracy theory, this scenario, all right? Maybe Amazon made it up. Maybe Amazon made it up, and they said, hey, there's nothing really to talk about right now. Why don't you go, hey, intern, why don't you go tweet that we fired Tom? Or maybe Tom. They said, hey, Tom, why don't you express some, whatever. Well, I'm not going to do that. Well, we'll give you an extra $4 million if you do. It's a conspiracy theory, but maybe it was put out there or things like that happen all the time with films, with shows, with sports teams. Stuff is leaked for you to get people talking, and sometimes they will leak incorrect information and see how people react to it.
Yeah.
And they go, okay, well, they don't like that idea.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't do that. So I think that there's also, because my favorite sports organization is the Cleveland Browns. They're notorious for leaking stuff that's not true. Sidebar, all right? They were talking about interviewing Condoleezza Rice for a head coach position. They let that leak. It wasn't true, but they wanted to see what people would say. She's a notorious Browns fan, right? She loves the Cleveland Browns. But they let that out just to see. All right, it's a gauge. It takes the temperature of the people to see.
It's just seeing, what's going on out there. Getting a feel.
Is that a wild idea, or sometimes you don't know? You throw ideas around all the time, and you're like, is that a stupid idea? Like 90% of the ones that go through my head. Maybe this video is one of them. Who knows? So maybe it was just a story that was put out there by anybody. Okay.
Right.
And then maybe this one I think may have the most weight. Okay. And I respect the Tolkien professor. I respect Corey Olsen.
Yeah.
I'm not this is done in tongue in cheek a little bit. I'm exaggerating. I'm an exaggerated person.
Yeah, it's great.
But maybe the information that he leaked was either contrived somewhat or exaggerated.
Sure, maybe.
To go along with this scenario, I'll go back to the opening. All right. The format. You and I have had formats like this before where we're on Discord, and mostly it's because we can't keep up. But people are firing stuff off, and we respond to certain bits, and other bits we never even mention.
Right.
Because it's either buried or we get busy talking, whatever. So the power to respond is on the moderator, the presenter, whoever's talking, all right?
Yeah.
If I see something come up that's asking a question about something that I know I cannot divulge any information of.
Right. Well, so real quick, I mean,
get in here, baby.
Example,
water's fine.
This was a couple months ago. Somebody sent us a question on Discord, and they said, Ez, can you tell us what you know or what Amazon has told you about casting? And I said, I at this point,
dude, you have.
I literally saw that
me until literally 5 seconds ago. I was like, whoa, this
Where's
happened?
He going?
But you know what I'm saying though?
I do. Yeah.
So you could see that and think.
But also, there's this other thing too, where it's like, do you want to have fun? Are you interacting with people, and do you see a pot that's stirring, and you kind of get this grin, and you think to yourself,
yes.
I mean,
and
but
you
if
and
that's what it is, I would love just to hear follow up that's what it is. I mean,
think that's the only thing is we talked about this earlier. I have no problem with that being clickbait or him saying all right, I'm gonna respond to this and I'm gonna kind of say more than I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm gonna say everything. What I'm not saying, right?
Yeah.
Like we do that all the time. That is fine. That's good. It draws people into what you're doing. They're listening. They're paying attention.
Yeah.
Maybe now they're hooked. Maybe now they're hooked to the Tolkien professor. That's a good thing.
That's fine. Yeah.
But when it's like, was that true?
If you take it too far though, and I don't even mean Corey Olsen. I just mean people who are listening to that. If you take it and you're running around saying it's gospel, it's the truth, that's where we're just saying. Right. I think it is. It's something for us to talk about, Right. So, but at the same time, we're tamping this down just a little bit because,
if I spread something around, it's usually because I'm stupid or I don't know. It's not. It's usually not misinformation.
Yeah.
That's where I think a little more responsibility needs to be taken. I think because
I don't think people realize how much. And this is actually
I saw it on a different website.
Yeah.
I saw a link for the clip on a different website. So that's how I knew maybe we should say something too.
Well, and my thing is, to those individuals that we're kind of talking about, the fandom actually is listening. They listen to you guys,
and we're a trustworthy fandom too.
Yes,
wouldn't you say that?
So, yes,
I like to trust people who do this for a living, who they are Tolkien professors,
right?
Or
you're in the nitty gritty, exactly. Well, so what I'm saying is that like some of our listeners, who saw that or heard that, and their fingers on the pulse there, they're kind of like, oh, these are trusted. We trust, like, those people we know. They might act like this is legit. Like, let's jump on this.
Right. Hey guys, have you heard Shippey's out? And it's like,
and it's a compliment to those guys. Just that, like, hey, you're close to this. You guys have a lot of inside sources. You know people. So help us out a little bit here. And maybe again, sometimes you know something and you can't share it, and that's fine. Just don't
say anything.
Don't share it, because then we start running.
There's a lot of stuff we know that we don't say.
That's right. But you could run wild with this and go a completely different direction, and that might not be at all what's going down, which is why I brought up the tweet by McKay, which is just sort of like, hey, like be careful.
Well, and he's got a great point there. He I think the misconception is that the more like business side of film is all like cold and cutthroat and it's my way or the highway stuff.
Right.
And his illusion was, McKay's illusion was, or not even illusion, what he was saying directly was, it's not at all the majority of what happens.
Yeah.
Like most of the time you have people on board who are 100% focused on maybe not the same exact interpretation of a vision, but a goal. They have a common goal, and that's why they've been selected or hired or joined up to this group so that they could help bring that to completion.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah. So it's interesting. I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be good to chat around the fire.
Yeah.
And see what's really going on. Maybe the chaff would burn away from the wheat. I don't know.
Yeah.
But those are my 4 scenarios I laid out. I tend to think it's probably in between all of them.
Yeah.
I think it might be a little clickbaity. I think maybe the comments were started to be made, and he's like, "Oh crap! Well, I'm into this now."
And you're also,
maybe I'll play it up.
Can I say this? And I'll say this because in I don't know, when you're asked that live on the spot, I know that's why you brought up some of our Discord formats, which is sort of like, hey, you roll past that. Maybe you got caught.
Is this the first time though he's been doing this?
No. But I'm just saying, like okay. maybe there's. I think you could say, to some degree, maybe like you got caught up in that, and you read that out loud, and you went, oh, I just read that out loud.
And if that was you, I'd say, be professional.
I know, and then once you realize that, you just kind of stop. You got to tamp it down. I don't know, but again, we said at the beginning, maybe there is more going on.
It might be 100% true, and in which case, I don't apologize, but I can be made a fool. I like that. I like being a jester.
Yeah,
it's fun. But yeah, he could be gone. Maybe he did something that. Or he voiced frustrations, or maybe he just left too. Maybe he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe he has other things he wants to do.
Dude, it would not surprise me either too, knowing what the small little bit that I've done on the Tolkien estate, and just the control factor and wanting to make sure a thing, you know what I'm saying? Like that, it wouldn't surprise me if some of those things came up. And again, everyone is coming from a different walk of life, a different place here, and you're trying to get to the same end goal, and it can be tough. So maybe that's the case. It's just like when there's nothing out there, we're going to grab at this. We're going to try to figure out what's going on because, it's just fun. We're just, having fun. So I don't know, leave a comment. Let us know what you think, because I kind of want to know what people think about this. Like,
be a good poll. We should put a poll somewhere too.
Yeah.
Is Shippey really gone? Where is Tom? Where is Tom?
Yeah.
He's in the old forest.
Yeah. So there's that, my friend. It's interesting. I'll leave a link down below in the description, so you can go check out these other sources and see what's going on.
I honestly had a different opinion. Yeah, and I think the clip of the Tolkien professor would be good too. I had a different opinion when I heard what was said versus when I saw it.
Yeah, I know.
When I heard it, I was like, all right, no big deal. And then I saw it, and I'm like, I'm a ham. I play stuff up. I know what he's doing. Like, I know. So just I hope it's true. Like, I don't want you to lie to me. I love you. Don't lie to me.
I know. The other thing is too, like the grin on his face.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, don't lie to me, man.
Well, that's us. I mean, that's us to some extent. That's why I say it's sort of.
And maybe that's the role of professors. Professors are supposed to antagonize stuff and say, "Am I telling the truth? What do you think?"
You're sitting there going, sort of like I guess. Thank God, sometimes the camera's not on me during our Discord chats, because I'm sitting there going like.
That's what? Very true.
My face is sort of like, oh, I'm not going there. But
very true.
That's where you gotta have some. So, anyways, all right.
We're on Discord.
We love you guys, and thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think.
Yeah,
hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button.
That's right.
Email us any complaints at TomShippeyConcerns.com. And I mean, what do we always say? We say that Tom Shippey lives, right?
Tom Shippey lives.